Let's take a look at how we can achieve effective sorting and selection. We want to focus on price action in both the reaction pattern and the trend. These will be qualified recurring continuation patterns in the direction of the breakout. Context, which also has to do with the reaction pattern and the trend, requires that our reaction patterns test long-term support or resistance. Strength of trend is also a component of context with the long-term EMA fan. For momentum, we have the MACD oscillators. And for structure, we have our trend lines. So we want to effectively combine price action, context, momentum, and structure into a simple sorting method. The goal is to achieve an immediate breakout above or below the swing high-low price level. The purpose of scanning this particular context is to capture the 18 EMA breakouts with the 3 and the 6 with momentum in the direction of the long-term trend as indicated by the EMA fan. So I will be looking to take swing high patterns off major support at the bottom of these consolidations and then shorting the sell-offs on the breakdowns below the 18. On this particular chart, you can see the interplay of the 3-6 coming over the 18 in the direction of the trend and then breaking down below the 18 as the stock corrects. We want to capture the longs in the direction of the primary trend and short the sell-offs. The reason that I scan the various systems is because of variation as the 3-6 crosses over the 18. I want to be certain that I capture all of the moves. Some will occur with 618 crossovers, some with 350, others with the 3-6 variation. In any case, in any interval, I want to make sure that my price is at least bouncing on either the 18 or the 50. So when I analyze stocks in this particular scan that I move to my flag symbol list, I want to focus on this because I have a swing high pattern that is bouncing off major support, as opposed to this particular candidate, which is not. Although I will watch this to see what evolves, I tend to focus more on breakouts that are bouncing off the long-term support. Let's take a look at some recent setups to give you an idea about how I do this. I want to be certain that I'm scanning the 3-6 so that I catch the breakdowns and breakups with the 3-6 swing high. A recent example is here in LYB. Here you can see the 3-6 swing low, followed by an immediate test of the 18 with momentum. I want to be certain that I capture these trades. Here's another example of the 3-6-18 recent trigger in Broadcom. Here I have the 3-6 and the 18 breakout, which immediately tests the 18. The extremely low risk setups. Here's a recent setup in NOW. Remember that I'm looking for price action, context, momentum, and structure with my trend lines. To apply my trend lines, I will populate my tool where I can select the trend line feature. Since I've selected Snap To, it will automatically place a trend line at my desired pivots for accuracy. Here I can see a recent swing high on the 618 system in NOW. Here I can see a constructive continuation pattern of a high inside bar reversal that is hitting both the 50 and the 18. I apply my trend structure up and down to facilitate the context that is most likely to result in an immediate breakout. Here's another recent example in NOW of a 318 swing high followed by an inside bar. Notice the inside bar is testing the 3-6-18 with momentum. This is the only time that I will trade inside bars that are bouncing on major support. Since I don't have trend line structure, I want to ensure that I will not be stopped out and I get an immediate follow through. Here's an example of a recent swing high in WWE that I do not want to analyze. You can see that the inside bar evolves nowhere near major support. Once you begin to log screen time, you will start to see the recurring pattern of the base breakout over and over again. The 3-6 will trade below the 18, consolidate. The long-term trend is dictated by the 50, 100, and 200 moving averages will remain up, at which point price will move back out over the 18 and give you a setup. Here's a recent example in Avago Technologies. Here we see a 318 and a 350 pattern combined with the MACD momentum. We also have proper trend line structure. Notice the reaction is bouncing on the 6, 18, and 50. Most important is the 1850 test. This reduces the likelihood of a stop out tremendously and increases your win rate. Here is a recent counter-trend example of a sell-off in Avogo Technologies using the 3-6 system going down. Notice that the reaction following the swing low tests the 18 and the 50. Also, this setup has proper trend line structure, which produces an immediate reaction in the direction of the setup. Systematically scanning for the various EMA systems and moving them to flag symbols will allow you to systematically scan and sort for the lowest risk entries with proper structure. Here's one last example of a potential base breakout in KR. Here we see a 318 swing high, followed by an immediate reaction, whereby we have excellent trend line structure and momentum. Also notice that the pattern is pulled back to the 18 exponential moving average within the larger context of the 50, 100, and 200 EMA fan. Sorting and scanning for these particular systems will give you a small watch list that you can quickly and easily monitor for low-risk setups in just a few minutes a day. Remember, consistent scanning means consistent results. And a simple layout that eliminates superfluous information and reduces stress will greatly increase your consistency. To begin, try integrating a simple scanning layout. Consider the process of analysis to action, and learn to wait for the obvious low-risk entries. Be certain to identify the low-risk entry in any scan, and sample only the highest probability setups. Do not overanalyze. Think price action, context, momentum, and structure, and focus on the setup. Probability and the trend will do the rest of the work. Remember from previous segments, the key to impulse pattern recognition is setting up the same structure and context over and over again. This makes scanning and analysis quick and routine, and the decision-making process easier. The secret to successful setup trading in multiple time and data series is consistent application. You will not see qualified setups in every scan or interval. You are paid to wait for the lowest risk, highest probability entries. Developing an efficient layout and procedure for quick scanning in just a few minutes is a massive edge over the typical trader who is overwhelmed by superfluous information and conflicting indicators. This concludes the Creating an Effective Desktop Layout segment of Stock Trading Ninja. I'm your instructor, Frank Bunn.